Well, I got to start out and thanking all the Red Raiders for showing up in Houston, man. That was we just talked in the locker room, and our players were just blown away for the support, and at the end being able to play the Matador song and just everybody standing up. It was incredible. It was a great environment for us, and we appreciate everybody showing up. Excited to be 5-0. I'm never apologize for a victory. I felt like, I kind of feel like I've been in a 4-round fight because there was a lot of times that we had to settle for field goals. There was a lot of times that, we felt like we could have scored more points than what we did. But at the end of the day, there was teams that went on the road, that were expected to win and didn't. There were teams that went on the road that were in dogfights like this and couldn't handle the adversity, and our team handled the adversity, and so I'm proud of them. And it's going to be fun to get back home, homecoming next week, and I know we're having a great crowd. So excited about that. So with that, questions.
Joe, two Big 12 wins on the road against good teams with your defense really kind of helping grind it out. Do you like playing the style of, hey, we're going to grind them out and just kind of sit on them?
I like playing that style of we're playing clean football. We didn't play clean football tonight, but I'll tell you, it's something in the past that we haven't been able to do. We haven't played very well on the road, and we've gone into, an undefeated Utah team and gave them their first loss, and went into Houston, an undefeated Houston team, and gave them their first loss. So any way you could do it. I do love that we get the ball right there at the end with 7 minutes left, and we're able to, run the best play in football, and that's victory. So that was awesome.
We talk about complimentary football a lot, and obviously that 9-0 start very well could have been a 27-0 start. What was the changing point for you guys, your offense?
I think if you go back and you look at like the good things we did, we ran the ball really well, ran for 207 yards, which is hard to do. You think about what Houston's done, stopping the run. We had a shutout in the second half, which is good. But then you look at the other side of it, it's going to keep us on edge and really focus on how we could get better. So we had 4 drops. 2 of those 4 drops were touchdowns. We had them blocked up, and instead of touchdowns, we had to settle for field goals. And then we had 2 pre-snap penalties from the 1-yard line. Both calls, we would have walked in the end zone. We had to settle for a field goal for 1, and then the other one we did score, but you don't want to score that way. And so that's the frustrating thing that we've got to get better at. And then I thought defensively, man, we played really well again. We stopped the run and we were able to get after the quarterback. And that's the key, man. With the front that we have, if we can stop the run and be able to get our guys that can really rush the passer at a high level, that makes a big difference.
Was getting Morton involved in the rushing game part of the plan in the game, or was that something you identified from the defense?
No, that was something we had that coming in. Some of the stuff, the inside zone extra, just adding that to play 11 on 11.
When y'all were up there 9-3, how big was that 69-yard touchdown by Dickey to kind of give you some space and get things going a little?
Yeah, it was huge because there was so many times we could break it open and then we lose the momentum. Having to kick a field goal, and that was huge with him really kind of breaking it open. And it's hard when we can get a lead. It's hard to attack our defense because now you're going to have to do some things that you're out of your game plan, having to push the ball downfield, holding the ball longer, and we can really hit the quarterback.
Jacoby ran for 107 tonight, as well as 2 rushing touchdowns, and typically he's the guy that could get the ball in space, and tonight he had a 5-yard touchdown run and a 1-yard touchdown run. Just talk about his versatility.
Yeah, those 2 guys. First, Jacoby, man, he's one of those guys that's always smiling. He loves football, absolutely loves football. He's a fun guy to be around. And pound for pound, he's probably the strongest. If he's not the strongest guy on our team, he's one of the strongest guys. He probably weighed 182 today, and he squats 500 pounds, benches 300 pounds. I mean, he's a load. But those 2 guys play off each other so well, man. They do so many good things, and they celebrate. It's fun to watch. I'll go back and watch TV copy, and I promise you that Cam's celebrating Jacoby's touchdown just like Jacoby's celebrating Cam's long touchdown.
Coach, one of your defensive performers today, Jacob Rodriguez, 5 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, 2 pass breakups, and an interception. Can you tell us what Jacob Rodriguez has meant to the Texas Tech football?
Yeah, it's awesome. He also, whenever he picked that one and hurdled that guy, he told me to remind Mac that he was a quarterback in high school, so we need some wildcat runs with him. He can do it, and he's the quarterback of that defense, and he is able to get everybody lined up, right or wrong. He gets them lined up, and then he gives everybody such confidence, because he's very assertive, and he doesn't. There's not a lot of guessing. He is going to make the call and get us going, and then he plays like his hair is on fire.
Joey, what was he dealing with that he missed?
Calf. It wasn't. At first I thought it was cramping. It wasn't. Mike brought him up and did some work on his calf and was able to kind of release. It just got tight. We were able to bring him back in the game. He played a couple plays, and I said whenever we kind of had opened it up, I was like, "Hey, Shill, if you don't feel good about putting him back in, or if he's not 100%, don't put him back in." And he was like, he had already called our base defense, and it's awesome to see how guys play and respond, because like a guy that I'm extremely proud of is A.J. McCarty, who was a captain tonight. But, we went to our package with John Curry at Star, in camp, and he wouldn't let us take him off the field. A.J. McCarty at any point he's a senior, he could have a bad attitude, or he could feel sorry for himself, and whenever J-Rod went out tonight, we went to a different package and we bumped John inside the linebacker, and AJ went out there. Man, he made some big plays, and he's done that, and it says a lot about his character and how much he cares about this team, that he's ready to go play whenever his number's called.
What do you think it says about your team that you're able to go 2 straight games on the road against previously undefeated teams and come out with decisive wins?
Yeah, it's they care a lot about each other. That's our challenge all the time. We always talk about the film is the mirror. Whenever you turn on the film tomorrow, it's like, looking in the mirror, and did you play as hard as you can? And it's going to show up, and you're going to know you did or you didn't, and the people around you, whenever they watch the film, they know you did or you didn't, and they're holding each other accountable and play at a really high level.
What do you say about Barron? Because he obviously was a game with the injury a couple weeks ago. Will plays well. There's a lot of noise outside about it. They play well.
Yeah.
How he played tonight, the touchdown, he identifies the free rusher, makes the right decision. Just what would you say about how he prepared for tonight and how he's kind of handled himself?
Yeah, he did a great job. I think we had a big run too that he checked to, that that it was a great handoff and it ended up being a big play. Man, I'll tell you, our guys, they're really unselfish, and it's hard, and this is just life, period. It's hard to know your role, but everybody has a role, and you've got to play that role, and then when your role changes, you better be ready. When your number's called, you better be ready, and that's what Will did, and he knows his role right now, but I promise you, if something happens to where we got to put, if Barron's helmet comes off and Will's got to go in the game, then we're going to rip it. We're going to run our offense, and we're going to do, what we do. But I was proud of Barron. He feels good. You can see it. That's why we felt like we could run him tonight. I thought he moved well in the pocket, and he throws for 300-something yards, and 345 yards, doesn't turn the ball over. We take care of the football, and that was good to see.
Joey, one or two more. How did you feel about how Barron executed in the red zone? Obviously, we touched on some drop passes and procedures.
I thought he did a really good job. The 4 drops, 3 of the 4 were really good balls. The one ball should have been. I expect Terrence Carter to catch that ball. I was a little bit behind him. Going down for a first down. He'd have been running for a long time, but I thought he did a good job, and I thought he was locked in. He brings energy, and both of our guys do. They're big energy guys, and people follow him.
Coach, another big dominant performance from your defensive front. Talk about those guys just for a little bit, and why aren't they widely considered the best defensive front in the country yet?
Well, I think we just keep at it, and they will be. The thing about those guys is the depth that we can play with, because, you know, you can play 5 guys in the interior. You know, we play 4 heavy, but, you know, whenever you're talking about Lee Hunter and Skylar Gill Howard and Jaden Cofield and Duda Banks and A.J. Holmes, you know, you're rotating fresh bodies in there, and there's no drop-off. Those guys, you know, play at an extremely high level. And then on the edge, we probably play Romello and David, especially in past situations, a little bit more. But you've got Charles Esters, who played well tonight. You know, you've got Braylon Rigsby, Cheto Fila, and Terrell Tillman. So you got, I mean, like, you think about, we felt that. We felt like coming into this year with the defensive front that we got, that, you know, we could do a lot of things. And it's fun when you can get pressure rushing forward, and you're able to cover the way we cover, because we can rush forward and still get pressure.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
In just a second.